Hi everyone, it's Sam Owen here. I'm here with the lovely Paris on the streets of gorgeous Athens, and we're going to talk today about relationships. Paris has been very kind to agree to spend some time going through some questions with me, and by doing so, hopefully helping all of you guys with his answers. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So, do you believe, Paris, that cohabiting is better than marriage, or marriage is better than cohabiting, and what are your reasons?
Hmm. Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to state to to say my opinion about this. Um, I have to apologize first because my English is not so fluent.
It's great.
Okay,
It's great.
yes, you can say so. Okay. First of all, I have to say that I am married for 12 years now. So I was in the first situation, and now I'm in the marriage. Um, it happens that both of them have their advantages and drawbacks. Right now, I think that marriage makes your life more settled. So if you are that kind of person, marriage will work for you better than being in a relationship and living together, because there may be trust issues and other problems that you have to get over. And you know, in marriage you have to make the bridge and get over them, otherwise you just break up, and that's all.
Yeah. So you have that degree of persistence in dealing with problems when it's a marriage, because you're married. You're not just going to walk away so easily. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So you fight harder, and maybe in some ways that makes it easier to deal with the difficult times.
Exactly. Because nowadays people are not so persistent and so and so goal oriented.
Determined. Goal oriented, determined.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's life. Of course, if you are in marriage, you can take a divorce.
Yeah.
It's not that.
It's not that simple, is
Yes.
it? Yeah.
But still, yes, I think that the marriage is the step that you have to do to evolve as a person, as a personality.
Right. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Because it does force you into really fighting for what you have. So that takes some courage. It takes some determination.
Exactly.
And also, you can't just run away. So you have to have some calmness about you.
Exactly. And you have to find a way to find a solution for every problem. So from you get to a solution problem situation.
Yeah, you get to a solution much more quickly when you've got a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got a problem, find solution, and do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think is a good age for getting married at, or the best age?
The best age to get married at. There is a factor that we have to put
Into consideration.
Love, of course. In that age that you will get in love with someone, and of course it must be an age over, let's say 25, 30, in order to be more solid about your thoughts and your opinions, yes, and to know exactly what are you looking for a relationship. So there must be an amount of time making relationships and conveying your beliefs And when you find the right person, then I think it's the time to move on. And of course, you have to can afford that. Yeah,
Yeah, so you were saying about being solid, so essentially knowing yourself,
exactly.
which, by the time you're in your 30s, you know yourself so much better than when you're younger, and so that's really helpful. And then also knowing what you're looking for, and that's why you think that actually looking 30s, 25 to 30s upwards actually really makes a difference. I would say definitely, at least in your 30s, and actually I would say that coming towards your late 30s and beyond, you really get to know yourself even more so. So for all the people out there who are stressing because they haven't found somebody, maybe that's to your benefit. And the whole point is that you need this time to really get to know yourself, know what you're looking for, know who you're going to be evolving into. And so just think of it as a blessing. Don't panic if you've not found somebody yet and you're approaching 40, or you're in your 40s and you're or beyond. Everything happens for the best. So when people are in an unhappy marriage, do you think they should stay or divorce if they have children? Actually, let me just ask that again.
Yes. I have to look at you at the
You can look wherever you want.
Yes.
Wherever you're comfortable.
I'm feeling like
Do a bit of both.
Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, fun with flags.
yeah, fun with flags. I've seen that episode.
And make it more natural.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So.
My profile. Yes.
What were we saying now?
You were saying that?
Unhappy marriage.
Happy marriage.
Okay. When people are in an unhappy marriage, do you think that they should stay together just because they have children?
That's a very tough and difficult question, because when you are in an unhappy marriage, it's a difficult situation. But when you are divorced and have kids and all this stuff going around, it's a difficult situation.
Yes.
So you have to choose between one difficult situation over another. And but at the end of the day, what is important is that everyone should feel competent and happy about his day-to-day life. So if you are in an unhappy marriage, maybe you should divorce, because you are making a favor to your own self, building a more healthy
individual. Yeah.
Yes. But you have to consider that there are some commitments, obligations that you have to keep to be right.
Yeah.
Like spending time with your kids and be there for them and providing financially.
Yes.
And all this. So that makes it that you have to work more, but you have to find more time for them, and so life will be more difficult. But in some way, I think someone will find his way to this situation.
Yeah, so that could be more difficult divorcing, because you have to manage your own finances then, and you need to support that person, the children more, potentially your ex-partner as well still, and still make time to see them whilst you're working more potentially. So what you're saying is that that's in many ways more difficult, divorcing, but ultimately if it means that you're going to be happier within yourself, then that's a better thing, a better outcome for your children and for everybody around you.
Yes. Although this is a perspective from us, from the grown-ups.
Yeah.
I think that the children have one other view of this situation.
Yes.
And since you are in a marriage, I think that you obtain a common identity. I mean, mom and dad, it's one thing.
Yeah.
And children, they're sing and they are they're saying this one thing.
Yeah.
When you
They're
divorce,
used to,
yes,
yeah,
they are used to
see mum and dad together, and then when you divorce, it's an upheaval.
Okay, yes, and then there is two identities, mom and dad over there. So when you are divorced, I think you are divorcing. After you are divorcing, I think that you change yourself somehow. You are not the same person as married, and that affects to your children
Yes.
and your ex-wife and yourself, because everyone is changing. So everything is changing. Nothing is the same.
Yes, that's so true.
Okay.
Everything changes.
Yes. So many people are not comfortable with changes.
That's so true.
Yes, and they keep.
To the same.
Yes, they keep being in the marriage.
Because
Not
it's
change-
easier than
exactly.
change.
They are not able to get out the comfort zone.
Yes, yeah. So they might be unhappy but stay,
Yes.
and they may become mentally unwell because they're in an unhealthy marriage, and they might be miserable parents but they stay because it's
Yes.
easier than changing.
Okay, and then the years go by, go by, and children become teens,
Yes.
and then they wonder, but why mom and dad are staying together since they are so different people, and they are unhappy together.
Yes. So your children will get to the point where they will start questioning your decisions if perhaps they haven't been the best decisions. And also affecting their mindset about relationships.
Yes.
So I guess a key thing that we're saying here is that if you do divorce, in the long run, that may be the best thing. So don't beat yourself up about it, because there is still that taboo, particularly I think for parents, particularly parents for young children. But and we're not saying that you should divorce or you shouldn't divorce. We're just saying it's something you have to decide for yourself, isn't it, Paris? You have to really weigh up everything and decide. I have to say, I do have clients who will say to me, we want to stay together at least until the children are this age, so they're looking for a milestone at which they think at that point the children will be able to handle it best, it won't disrupt their studies, so that can also be a factor that you have to consider. So it is really very much down to each individual situation, isn't it?
Exactly. Partridge.
Partridge.
Yes.
Oh, so funny. Okay. What advice would you give people looking for lasting love?
Wow, this is a tough one. I should suggest that there should be, first of all, a proper amount of time of knowing each other, and then they should spend as much time as needed, no more or no less.
Together?
Together, yes, exactly.
Like in a day?
Exactly, because everyone needs his space,
yes,
his own space and his own time, and to have his own habits and his own identity.
Yeah, such a good point.
Yes.
So you don't lose yourself completely in the other person and in the relationship. And to do that, what you're saying, Paris, is in order to do that is having enough time to yourself helps you to maintain your identity. I love that.
Yes, exactly. That's crucial, because the other one loves you because you are the one you are. Yes, because you're you. And if you change it, then you are becoming someone else.
That's so true.
Yes, and you're making the difference to the other person.
Yes.
And so he or she keeps questioning, who is he or who is he?
Yes.
I'm not in love with Atma.
Yeah, I I'm not in love with that man or woman. I love that. That's so true. That you can just spend so much time with a person just because you love them or because you feel you have to, maybe they want to, and so you oblige. But actually, what can happen very slowly, very incrementally over time without you realizing is that you change and then the dynamic changes and who you are to your romantic partner suddenly changed and you're no longer the people that you fell for.
Exactly.
Mm.
But to be in this point, you have to know yourself,
Yes.
and you have to hold your ground
Mm-hmm.
in the relationship. I mean, in the good way, not hold your ground. Okay, and state your beliefs and all your elements of identity, and be accepted from the other part.
Yes. Yeah, for who you are.
Exactly.
Mm.
But first of all, you have to know who you are, and the other part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I love how we've come back to that theme of having your own identity, but also getting to the point where you know who you are before you get into what this question was dealing with, which is how do you find lasting love? What's great advice for that? And it's knowing your own identity and maintaining it.
Exactly. You have to find you first of all. Yourself, yes.
No, the way you said it was perfect.
Okay.
Love that. I love that. So, what sort of impact do you think social media has on relationships?
Yes. You know, I'm not the right person to ask for because I don't use social media, except from some aspects of my life that have to do with my hobbies.
Right.
Okay. Besides that, I don't have neither Instagram or these accounts. But as I can see from the other people, since I work in a job that I keep watching other people eating, and
Yeah. You observe others in your line of work.
Exactly, in my line of work,
Mhm.
yes. There is a great impact of social media, and I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do, because everyone has put much value to this, and keeping the social identity, and keeping the accounts active, and keep posting and posting photographs and all this.
So true.
Yes, and I think we are in the point that we have lost the meaning of a relationship. We are just two profiles interacting, two avatars, and if we have um, a piece of art, and we decide that this can value $10 million, and all of them, we say to all here that this worth $10 million, then maybe this worth $10 million. If we say that it worth $1, it will worth $1. So this is the same with social media. If all people say that social media is the important thing to do in all this, so we lose our human value about being in a relationship, interacting each other.
Yeah, being present.
Exactly.
Talking to each other instead of being sat on our phones on social media.
Exactly. Why that? Why this is so valuable? Because we people decided that it is valuable, but it's not valuable. It's only air. it's
So we put so much emphasis on it as a society that it's something really important to our lives, whereas is it really? And actually, is it really quite detrimental? You were saying how you observe people in your work. Do you find that you notice couples are more busy on the phone than you expect them to be when they're sat together. Then they are busy looking into each other's eyes and
Exactly.
touching and laughing and talking. Wow, that's sad, isn't it?
It's very sad.
Very
There is
sad.
not the part of relationship anymore. I work in a restaurant. The only situation I remember was that we were attending 20 top party for Sweet 16 for a girl, and all the girls were sitting at the tables and talking each other beside one. So this one girl was alone. No one talked to her. I don't know why. And then suddenly he took her phone and he was on the social all the time. It saved it. If I were in this age, in my time,
Yes.
okay, I was very sad. I would be very sad. I would be devastated because no one wanted to talk
To
with
talk
me.
to. Yeah.
But still, she got her phone and she had something to do in this party that felt awkward to be invited and present in it. Okay.
So do you think that was a good goal?
Yes. So let's say that social offers a way to people that feel lonely and that they are alone. Okay. They
Maybe don't have friends.
Yes, so they offer this way, but in this way, it's somehow like all of us becoming lonely people and lonely persons because of them.
Because of our reliance on the phone. So.
Reliance on the phones, exactly, and we don't bother to
Try to interact with others.
Yes.
Because we don't have to.
Exactly.
If we're being ignored
No.
at a party, it's okay, I'll just go on my phone. Instead
Exactly.
of back in the day, if you were being ignored, you'd try lots of things to get in with somebody, have a conversation with somebody, whoever it was. And you probably feel that, so you probably leave that party feeling, hello?
Feeling that maybe
feeling less isolated, feeling less lonely, maybe having a confidence boost, maybe because you did speak to somebody and they reciprocated, and in the end you thought, hey, I went to that party and initially nobody was talking to me, but I left with a friend.
too much traffic.
But I left with a friend, whereas
Yes.
now you don't have to do that. If you're sat alone, nobody's talking to you, just grab my phone and I can pretend this isn't happening and not have to deal with it, not have to force myself to be uncomfortable. Going back to what we were saying before,
Exactly.
people don't like to be uncomfortable, so it gives people a way to be comfortable in the moment, but really actually uncomfortable in the long run if they continue being lonely and isolated.
Exactly.
It's sad, isn't
That's
it?
so true.
It's so sad. So, staying on the topic of social media, what do you think the pros and cons are of posting about your own relationship on social media?
Okay, if me and my wife or me and my girlfriend were in the same mindset that we like the social media and all this interacting with other people that they don't know us actually. So if we are these people, I think that keeping your account and posting all the time actually helps the relationship to get to another level.
Okay.
The level of being more together digitally, but physically, I don't know. I don't approve all this use of social media.
So you're putting a stamp out there in the world for the public to see that makes you like a declaration, I guess,
Yes.
of we love each other or we're into each other and we're happy together. So if that's your thing, then I guess what you're saying is that's that's fine. I do wonder though, does that really help the offline relationship in any way? By putting that declaration out there digitally about, hey, look at us, we're so happy, does that help your relationship in real life? Or
Okay, that will provide you one more thing to discuss about, but will you discuss about it?
and how what's the quality of that conversation? Oh,
Nothing.
I got 50 likes, or I got
Yes.
1,000 likes, you know?
Chit-chatting and without any meaning.
Yeah, and you know what I just thought of as well is, you know, when once you start posting about your relationship online, anybody can comment if you've got a public account or like your post. And I can imagine there would be moments where, you know, you post a picture of you and your partner, and then maybe someone of the opposite sex, for example, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, you know, likes your partner, or likes to post, and maybe you notice that, oh, they only ever like my post when my partner's in it.
Ah,
You know, because
Whoa.
people do stuff like that online. You
Okay.
know? So I do wonder whether actually, in posting about your relationship, you may also invite some of those people into your life.
competitors.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You know, because people flirt in a very subtle way online, don't they? Like, oh no, we're being so innocent, we're not flirting, but really you are, because you're liking particular posts. Like, you might not like a post where somebody's showing something quite generic, but if it's a picture of them, you always like it. So, you know,
Yes.
there is this subtle flirting that goes on social media.
Okay. So maybe you be tempted to break your relationship and make one other.
It's possible. It's
Oh.
possible it might lead to a breakup eventually if it causes a lot of turmoil. But yeah, I
Okay.
just feel that it's complicated when it. And I'm just thinking this now as we're talking, as you said that, I just thought it's complicated, isn't it, when you post your relationship online?
Yes.
Because you don't know what effects that's going to have. You know, and also some people just aren't happy about your happiness. So I
Yes.
think, you know, do you want someone's evil eye, you know, as well? So that's something else you have to think about.
That's needless to expose your personal life.
It is needless. And, you know, if you're really happy, do you need to tell everybody?
No, not at all.
You see, this is how I feel.
Yes.
So it's good to hear you feel the same way. So, with regards to, again, just on social media and also things like online gaming, do you think it means that more people are cheating nowadays?
More people are cheating.
On their romantic partner?
Yes.
And do you think social media and online gaming, those digital forums and things like that, play a part in that?
Yes, because it gives you the opportunity to make it without being noticed.
So true.
Oh, so it's like you're mocking yourself and the other and your partner, of course, but still it's something that it's not. It does not show a good quality of character, but you have the opportunity and you can make it. So
much easier.
Yes, so much easier.
Yeah.
So the social media makes it easy for you
When you it makes it so much easier for you. Just say that again.
to demean yourself, to degrade.
I love that. I love how that's how you refer to it. You're demeaning yourself.
Demeaning yourself, yes.
By engaging in emotional infidelity.
Exactly.
At first, you know. And also, when you said before the phrase mocking yourself, so do you mean that you are doing things without even realizing what you're doing?
Exactly.
I love that point.
You are hidden behind the keyboard.
You're on a slippery slope. you're on a slippery slope doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, but you almost don't realize yourself at first because it's so subtle and it's so hidden that you almost don't really think about your own behaviors and what they really mean until maybe you're kind of down the road a little bit. And then maybe you're a bit too far gone.
Yes.
And now you're fancying somebody else and you're flirting with them online and now you're into them and then all that means for your current relationship and your
Yes.
life.
And you don't have to face the consequences
Yeah.
until the end,
Yeah. At least not straight away, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
For a good while. Not to get
He's dead.
he's dead.
No.
Oh. You're making me feel better.
Yes.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on traditional roles in marriage?
You mean man and women, me work, you play, you clean dishes?
You play.
Caveman. Yes.
Yeah. You work. She's at home tending to the house, children if you have them, looking after your needs, as well. So, what are your thoughts on those sort of traditional roles in the modern day?
I think that there is no traditional roles anymore, and good for us because we have to share all the
Workload,
workload, exactly, the errands,
commitments,
Commitments.
the errands, yeah.
errands, and somehow we both contribute to the relationship with the marriage. So we have to make it clear
Yes.
how
You're going to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying, Paris, is that you don't feel that those traditional roles still exist. They're a different version of them now, but it's about you working out a solution that works for you two.
Exactly, because both we are partners in this marriage,
Yeah.
let's say, and we both have to share parenting,
Yes.
not like the old days that
Yes.
mom should advise every kid not do this or not do that,
Yes.
and father was smoking, watching TV, yelling at the kids, keep quiet and all this. No, both of them, because since we're partners, we have to make it work and to make it work together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's the.
I understand. If you're looking for lasting love, do you think that opposites attract and last, or do you think it's best to find somebody who's similar to you?
Definitely not someone similar to you, because that would be boring and meaningless. You have to have opposite of you one other person, someone strange, and be curious about who he or she is, and to
Keep it exciting.
exactly.
So you think that it is good to have differences between you. What if you're completely different?
Completely different. That might not work because
Which is what I think I'm really thinking when I say opposites attract. I mean people who are just very different from each other.
yes, very opposite might be not
Too much difference. Judging by your face, that's how I translate it. Yeah.
Yes, and first of all, there has to be some common.
Needs to be common ground.
Common ground. Yes.
Has to be some. There have to be some similarities.
Similarities and common ground
Yeah.
to be on them.
Yeah, to gel.
To share. Yes.
Not necessarily the word you were going for.
First.
But how do you think living in a rather Christian society here in Athens has affected your attitudes towards relationships, romantic relationships?
Yes. I believe that nowadays Greeks are not attached to our religion anymore. Or if they are, too attached, there is something wrong with them.
Right.
They keeping themselves away from relationships and all this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So they are on their way to the
So
monastery.
just say that again. If they are connected to the
They are not attached to our religion anymore, and they don't live this to aff- affect to affect to the relationship aspect. So since they are not considering religion as a very crucial factor to their lives, and they are more free and confident of making other things, divorcing and cheating. You know. Yes.
yeah. So you're saying that actually, or it's not that religion or Christianity specifically doesn't have as much of a hold over people's lives in Athens now as it once did.
Exactly.
And so, even though people may identify as Christian, it's probably not shaping their lives in the way that it did many years ago.
Exactly.
And so people are now, like you said, divorcing more, cheating more, etc. So perhaps it doesn't really have an effect so much now. And how do you think just the local community in general of Athens or just Greece in general affects your attitudes and your approach to relationships?
We as Greeks have this drawback, let's say, that we we let things overwhelm us.
Right.
I don't know why, but all people here in Athens are very overwhelmed about what we live, how we live it, and we're letting this involve in our lives.
Affect your lives.
Yes, affect our lives, making us miserable many times because we live in a miserable city. Some people believe this, and because of this, all of us keep complaining and whining about, oh, why can't I move to a better European country? But no one does this anymore. Although all these Greek people that move to UK or the other countries like USA or
Germany,
Sweden to Germany, yes, they don't want to come back because I sorry.
Is that right?
And that has affected to our quality of the remaining community here.
Community, yeah.
Yes.
In what way that you now see this place as being in a more negative way because you feel like the people who left didn't come back?
Yes. Many people left in the last 10 years.
Right.
We faced this phenomenon named brain drain.
Right.
Okay. And now we are here with people miserable and I don't know, I don't want to say low quality people, but they are somehow
you just feel that there's a lot of negativity around.
Exactly.
You feel that there's a lot of negativity around in Athens that isn't really justified, is what I think you were going to say at the start there. People think, oh this, oh that, but maybe it's just life. And
you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, because once
I mean,
more,
I don't know, I'm not from Athens.
Yes, you're not from Athens. And since I'm working,
I just wonder whether it's a psychological thing, whether rather than an actual reality.
yes, since I am working with many tourists and foreign people, and I'm very happy about this because I keep knowing and
You get to socialize with
getting
different people.
with different people, like my friends or Greek people here, regular Greek people, and I realized that wow, there is one other world over there because I am
Mixing with tourists a lot.
yes, exactly, and that motivates me to let's say watch a TV series like James Corden
Okay.
or Family Guy, let's say, my two favorites of all the time. Why? Because I have the need to understand what their day-to-day life is. There is a word about this day-to-day life. It is called.
Day-to-day life.
No, it's called someone. Okay, so and of course to improve my English in order to be able to socialize and speak with others.
So going back to the question, how
Yes.
do you think living in this community affects your approach towards relationships? How would you say then that what you've just described affects your approach to your relationships?
Yes. So living in this city makes me not demanding, be more competitive. Competitive.
Makes you more determined.
Determined, yes, about what I want and what I don't want in a relationship because it's not like other times that we have the gray zone. We do have now white and black, and after the COVID era that makes us all mess. I think that many people know exactly now what they want about their relationship because we kept living together in a place, and so that is why the reason that many divorces came up after the COVID era and many births as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we decided that we want to be or not to be together.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, do you have any sweet or funny relationship stories that you want to share?
Relationship story, plenty of them, a pile of them.
Any you'd be willing to share with the world?
Okay, yes, I remember once me and my wife Vasiliki, we went on a vacation in our favorite island, Kythira, south of Peloponnese, and we are going there like 10 years now. Every year we are going every year for like 10 years now, and around 4 or 5 years ago, we were searching for a special beach that the locals have told us that they're a very magnificent beach, but there is a rough road
To get there.
And a very steep path. Steep? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, and a rope that you have to grab.
What? What did you do with your suitcases?
Yes. No, we just went for a swim.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's the beach. Sorry.
And we decided that yes, let's go for it.
Oh my
Why
God.
don't you try? And this is beach actually is a very small beach. After a very small waterfall.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
beautiful. That sounds
And
so
it has some
romantic
fairy.
and fun.
Yeah. No. So we
lovely
decided to go.
adventure.
Yes, it was a lovely adventure. But at the middle of the adventure, my wife started to feeling afraid of it, scared about all this stuff and the rocks and the ropes and all this.
Yeah, understandably.
And yes, she kept telling me, okay, let's go back now. But I convinced her and I told her, no, we have to move on. We have to move to find this specific particular beach that is only for us. Kalami Beach is the name. And we lost our way, to be honest. But we have only like a 30 minutes delay. Okay, yes.
Fine.
And then we find
It's an
it.
adventure.
Yes, adventure, exactly. And then I told her, I told you we're gonna find it. And so everything needs persistence and determination and try. Everything,
Yeah.
everything.
And the wonderful sights that you will see once you put that effort in.
Yes, actually it was magnificent.
Oh.
Yes.
What a beautiful date.
But we were alone over there.
Nice.
There was no one, and we had no signal, no reception. It was dangerous.
Scary.
Yes, and it was a secret in the sea,
It's so,
down the bottom.
oh wow. It sounds like a team building event. You know, like
Yes.
when, like you know when they say like, oh, if you're take your staff along to you know, do something together, you know, climb a rock or something to you know, connect together.
Yes.
It's like team building for couples.
Team building, but still we have the goal.
Yes.
The,
You still had a goal,
Oh.
and you persisted, and you got there, and it was beautiful. in
we
the
know
end.
what we want.
And you
Yes.
helped your now wife. Was your wife then as well?
We were not married.
No,
yet.
exactly.
Yes.
So and you also helped your now wife
Yes.
to, you know, overcome her fears.
Yes.
And
Overcome her
it
fear.
was worth it. I'm sure she enjoyed it in the end.
Yes.
Once she got over the trauma of it. Oh my gosh. So finally, is there any advice that you want to share with the world about, you know, having an amazing, romantic, loving, passionate relationship with your spouse or partner for life?
Yes. First of all, you have to be in the relationship. So you have to be that.
Be present, you
Be
mean?
present, yes, and you have to know yourself.
Yes.
So
Awareness.
awareness, yes, and the most crucial of all is to communicate and to convey your messages and your
The wants and your needs.
wants and needs, exactly.
Totally.
So communication is the key of any successful
Marriage or relationship.
relationship or
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
Mm.
You know, with that, anything is possible. Without it,
Yes,
a lot of problems are possible.
and goodwill as well.
And what?
Goodwill.
And goodwill.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so true. You need to have goodwill for one another, because people can lose sight of that sometimes
Yes.
and become quite demanding, or just forget to appreciate the other person and forget to just have that compassion and softness for each other as time goes on. And actually, if you never lose that, you know, then that's the foundation along with the communication. Anything's possible
Exactly.
because you come from a very loving, heart-based approach.
You have many good thoughts about this, and you have to accomplish the dreams you have
Yes.
from the good thoughts that you have experienced.
That's so true. That's so true. Oh, thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing your thoughts and opinions and advice with the rest of the world. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you too, Sam, I really appreciate our conversation.
Oh, thank you, Paris. Me too. Me too. Bye.